Good evening, Assalamu Alaikum, and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz. Pakistan versus Bangladesh, the first T20 international, is the top story, where Pakistan managed to defeat Bangladesh by 4 wickets and won that match. It was a very close call, but I like the fact that our batting was tested a bit as well. Of course, 128 runs might not seem that much, but when you're playing in Bangladesh, then trust me, it's the most difficult target to chase down against Bangladesh. It became very difficult, but all praises for Khushdil Shah and Fakhar Zaman, the way they carried on a partnership that gave Pakistan stability after losing the top 4 cheaply. And then in the end, Mohammad Nawaz and especially Shadab Khan, I think, deserve a lot of credit. The way they kept their nerves and finished the game, it was superb to see. More than that, great to see Hassan Ali back in form, man of the match. He needed that. Pakistan needed that. And after that semi-final, I keep on saying Pakistan needed this victory. So it was a good close encounter, but a lot of interest developed into the game as well. So after that, we'll be moving on to big news from the world of cricket. Australian captain Tim Paine has stepped down from his role as captain, citing an incident that took place in 2017, an exchange of explicit text messages between him and a colleague. And he said that my actions do not meet the standards of a captain of the Australian Test side. This is happening right before the Ashes, so we'll see the repercussions and also the level of accountability in a country where an incident 4 years ago is still enough to make you accountable as well. After that, we'll be moving on to something very special in the second segment. We'll be discussing the Chief of Army Staff Pakistan Open International Taekwondo Championship that took place in Islamabad. It featured an absolute superb stuff. 125 athletes from various countries, technical delegates, more than 15 countries were taking part in this. We will be naming those countries as well, and we'll be hearing from the Pakistan Taekwondo Federation. I think they deserve a lot of appreciation, a lot of congratulations to them and to Pakistan, because so many cultures blending in at the sports complex in Pakistan, in Islamabad, in the capital. It was an amazing sight to see. I was personally there, so I can tell you how great it was. We'll be discussing all about that in tonight's show, starting off our discussion with cricket. We've been joined in studios by cricket commentator and expert Kashif Shabir. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you, sir?
Alhamdulillah, all well.
A very close call, but yes. Hopefully all is well that ends well.
Yes, but I was expecting a very easy match against Bangladesh, because initially we thought that Bangladesh is an easy side, especially after the World Cup. As they played in World Cup, they were beaten badly by Oman in the World Cup, and they did not win a single match in the encounters. So we were expecting a very easy battle for Pakistan. And at one time, we were also thinking that Pakistan should have sent their B team to Bangladesh. But look at the match, what happened.
Bangladesh is absolutely devastating for any team.
They are, and remember when the Australians were out for 60 runs only, they were chasing around 123 runs. So I think it was an easy, but the wickets, I think the wickets are very tricky. They are not very easy, and as we were talking off air, that once the batsman starts hitting, then it becomes easy for them.
Do you think, Kashif bhai, it's disappointing on part of Bangladesh that if they want to develop future players, they need to get out of this dilemma of making wickets that suit them at home only?
Just recently, they have seen the repercussions of making these kind of pitches. And if I take you back to India in 1980s, Indians used to make same kind of pitches, and all the team, it was very difficult to beat India in India. But the level of cricket was not so matured for India. But once they started making international standard wickets, the level of cricket started improving. And I think same goes true for Bangladesh. If they want to improve the level of their cricket, they have to make good wickets, because now the cricket is very competitive. And you cannot play all around the year in your home grounds. You have to go out and you have to play away series as well. And especially the ICC tournaments, everything becomes very explicit, very open when you are playing in the neutral venues. So I think this is very true. They have to make good wickets, and plus the size of the boundaries are also very small in Bangladesh. But all in all, I think it is going to be a very difficult series now, we can say, for Pakistan.
Thank God we won the first one.
Exactly. And now the one point which I want to focus here is the bench strength that we were talking in the World Cup. We did not test all these players. We did not test Nawaz, Mohammad Wasim, neither did we test Haider Ali. Haider Ali has been a complete disaster for Pakistan again in this test match. But nevertheless, I think Mohammad Nawaz is a very good find for Pakistan, plus Khushdil Shah. See how well Khushdil Shah he took the innings with Fakhar Zaman, and that is how the partnership developed between the two, and Pakistan could stabilize their team. So I think the testing of bench strength is very important for Pakistan. Plus resting of Shaheen Shah Afridi is also a very plus for Pakistan.
Like you said, it's good to see that we have a bench strength and we rotated some players as well. If we talk about the particular changes, Mohammad Nawaz is in excellent form. You've got to applaud the guy.
For me, I think Mohammad Nawaz is far better a player than Imad Wasim. He should have been given opportunity prior to this match in the World Cup especially, but unfortunately we did not give him any opportunity. I think the first match against India that we won by 10 wickets, that was a morale booster for Pakistan, and that that turned the dial for Pakistan. So I think in future Mohammad Nawaz has a very good future for Pakistan, because he has been playing brilliantly in the national circuit as well, in the Quaid-e-Azam Trophy, in the national T20s, and he has been performing well for Pakistan, and I think that is the reason why he is still included in the team. So Mohammad Nawaz plus Khushdil Shah, I think these are two very bright prospects for Pakistan.
Good prospects for Pakistan. And do you like the fact that even Fakhar Zaman did something which is completely out of his comfort zone? So he, along with Khushdil, tried to stabilize the innings. They were playing sensibly at least.
I think that was a very crucial time for Pakistan, because we lost 4 wickets for only 28 runs on the board. And Fakhar Zaman and Khushdil Shah, I think these were the last recognized batsmen available for Pakistan. After this, all the all-rounders were available for Pakistan. So I think that was a very crucial time. And he played according to the situation, Fakhar Zaman and Khushdil Shah, and started stabilizing their innings. And it was a very unlucky dismissal of Fakhar Zaman.
But it brings me to a very important point, is something that we have seen with Mohammad Hafiz and Shoaib Malik, that whenever they are in that in the middle of in such a scenario where you need 4 or 5 runs and over, they will take those cheeky singles and get you over the line. Do you think Fakhar and Khushdil or anybody in that role needs to develop that ability where they can do that instead of just leaving a massive 30-40 runs for the lower order to chase down? Because against quality teams, not every day Nawaz and Shadab will chase this down.
In the absence of Shoaib Malik and Mohammad Hafiz, we need someone to stabilize the middle order batting for Pakistan, because Pakistani middle order batting is very volatile, because you don't have the experience available in there. So that is why I have always been advocating on the fact that maybe Babar Azam should come at number 3 and give that position to Fakhar Zaman, the opening position, so that one, we can utilize the 6 overs well. Secondly, the strength and the stability will come in the batting order, because you're absolutely right, because 4 or 5 runs you can easily nudge around and you can get those 4 or 5 runs available.
But you realize that our people will grill you, absolutely grill you, if you talk about anything regarding the opening commentary. They're not ready to listen.
No, but I have heard some of the experts like Yunus Khan, he has also been talking about this, that we need some strength.
One of them at least needs to come at one.
Absolutely, because you cannot utilize Mohammad Rizwan anywhere else than the opening slot. So that has to be given to Rizwan, and maybe Babar Azam can come down, because Babar Azam is a very, very talented player. He is one player who can hit around, who can stabilize the inning, who can get those singles and doubles, and who can anchor the team as well. So all those abilities are available in Babar Azam.
Definitely, that is the case, that Babar Azam is a complete package and he can be utilized at any place as well, but we'll leave that discussion. The fact is that Pakistan has won the game. Thankfully, Pakistan is still on a high note, and going into the next T20 that takes place tomorrow, Pakistan has got the upper hand. Bangladesh need to make a comeback, otherwise the series is done for them. That being said, like I said, the biggest news right now in the world of cricket is the Australian captain Tim Paine stepping down from his position as the captain of the Australian Test side. This was an incident that took place in 2017 between him and a colleague, in which some explicit text messages were sent. And as Paine mentioned in his press brief as well, if you want to call it, or in his statement to be particular, he said that in 2017 he had apologized to his family and the people and Cricket Australia as well, and it was deemed that he had not violated the code of conduct of Cricket Australia, and therefore he was allowed to continue. But he said that he did, after now that he realizes that that incident would be taken up publicly again, he said, my conduct is not what should be of an Australian cricket captain. We've seen that in the past as well when Steve Smith stepped down from this position. Now, not something similar, but It was another incident that has brought curtains on Payne's career as well. He still said that he's available, but right before the Ashes, it's a big blow to Australia, considering that it's a very important series for them. Ashes is always the spectacle. Now, Kashif bhai, first of all, your thoughts on the level of accountability in Australia, where you see an incident of 4 years ago still comes to haunt him and he steps down as a captain.
Not only accountability, but I think the moral strength on the part of Payne, I think it is incredible, because this is the kind of gesture a player should show, because once he has committed a mistake, he should openly
Accept it.
Accept it. And he had the courage to accept, and especially when a person who was in the team because he was the captain, I think now his position in the team is also very much weakened, because he has to, really prove himself as a very good wicketkeeper to stay in the team. But apart from that, I think the morality, the accountability, the overall structure, the infrastructure, the institution of Australian cricket, I think the credit should be given to Australian cricket as a whole, because this is how they have taught the young kids, they have taught their players to be like. And I think the moral strength is incredible. I think all around the world, the cricketing fraternity, they should learn from what Payne has done.
Definitely that is the case. Kashif Shabir, thank you so much for joining us on Sports Extra. That's all we have time for. On that note, we'll go towards a short break, but stay tuned because we'll be right back.